Yeah, simply ball dropping. What's up, family? K-Sap, we up. Ain't no stopping. I'm simply ball dropping like it's New Year's Eve, making you haters believe I'm the MVP. Ask Mr. V and R&B, they do all sports, whether it's on the field or the court, from the arena to the
back
ring.
there, Jay Rich.
You want to swing? I rope a dope like the one on this box.
I'm gonna bring you up in a second. I see you.
I'm the greatest of all times. Got something on your mind? Hit us up on the line for that round table talk. Ask B Hunt and Sheena and K-Sap too for their views on our dudes. Marriage Chronicles for you lovers. Oh, I'm married to the game. The championships, the only time I wanna ring. K-Sap, the man behind the mic. Check 1, 2. It ain't a rap until I say it's a rap. Just fall through, pull up. The hottest pod smoking. Yeah, I got you open. This freestyle brought to you by James Ford. Paid promotion. Yeah, simply ball dropping. You know what time it is. Pull up.
Come on, man. Y'all get in them comments, man. Y'all let me know where y'all chiming in from, man. I'm gonna let the live stream catch up to some people, man. I already see we got some people in the chat, man. Sheep Doggy Dog, man. Appreciate you pulling up. Black Boy 559, appreciate you pulling up. Squazil, appreciate you pulling up. Michael House, appreciate you pulling up. Eddie Buey, appreciate you pulling up. Daniel Santana, appreciate you pulling up, man. Yeah, we ball dropping tonight, baby. We're gonna talk about it.
What's up, K-Sap? Yeah. James Ford, that's me.
Y'all see the title of the thumbnail. Kelsey Mitchell proves why she is the best player on the Indiana Fever, man. We're gonna talk about it. Facts over feelings.
Hey, let me put you on game. These other podcasts out here talking that shit, but ain't repping the same. This my bro case. From politics, your top picks. Tune in.
I see y'all in the chat.
Exclusive material for your radio, stereo, pump it high definition. Stop what you doing and listen. We smashing all competition. You better jump on this wave. Somebody pass me a mic, man. I got something to say. I'm
simply ball dropping. Simply ball dropping. Chopping up these topics, man. I'm simply ball dropping. Driving coast to coast, making moves, ain't stopping. Driving coast to coast, making moves, ain't stopping. Simply ball dropping. Simply ball dropping. Chopping up these topics, man. I'm simply ball dropping.
Yo, what it do, people? What it do, man? I'm here, man. We're gonna talk about it, man. Y'all see the title of the thumbnail, man. Kelsey Mitchell proves why she is the best Indiana Fever player. We're gonna talk about it, man. I got my man Jay Rich, man, here from Slay and Chill Network. He gonna chop it up with me, man. I'm gonna go ahead and bring him to the stage, man. Jay Rich, what up, man?
What's going on, K-Sap? What's good with you, man?
Hey, I'm good, man. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you good.
All right, good, man. Hey, appreciate you coming up on the panel, man. Hey, we gotta talk about this, man. You know, a lot of people see this is I try to give my fair assessment, man. And one thing we ain't gonna do over here, we just not gonna give one person their kudos without talking about somebody else. And it seems a lot of people just want to focus on Caitlin Clark and they don't want to give nobody else their just dues, man. And I'm here to tell you, man, from the last 2 games since the WNBA has restarted their season, man, Kelsey Mitchell, man, she is proven, man. She's a 7-year vet. She's on her contract year. And, man, she is doing some great things with this Indiana Fever team. And I think without Kelsey Mitchell, this team don't play as well as they do without Kelsey Mitchell. We all know Caitlin Clark is the engine that makes it go. But if you look at some of the games that Indiana Fever has been in, all the close games, you know, at the first half of the season where they had the 11 victories, Kelsey Mitchell, she didn't won a couple of them games. So let me hear from you, Jay Rich. What's your take on it, man?
Yeah, appreciate you, man. So what's funny is I actually have her on my fantasy team. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna tell you what my record is. We ain't gonna get into all that. But I do have her on my fantasy team. You know, I look at it like this. Look, I'm a lefty, she a lefty, so I love my lefties. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I really think she's a pure scorer. You know? Like, it's just something about lefties. We know how to beat our defenders. You know, she's got a good, quick first step. I think how I see it, I don't think they can't win without each other.
Good point.
I feel like Kaylin is, like you said, she's more of that facilitator. She's gonna be the one that, like, she has as a point guard. You got to be the one that gets the team going. You have to look for others besides your shot.
Yeah,
Kelsey's job, she don't have to do that as much. She can just
exactly.
go focus on the buckets. And so when it comes down to who's gonna win the game, it may be her that takes that shot. Even the last game they just played, they were beating them by at least 20 some points.
Yeah,
But it came down to some of those clutch shots that you got to hit. I got my baby
that's
girl.
okay. That's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, come on here, baby girl. But yeah, I just think that she's a pure scorer. Look, I'm gonna leave it to y'all. I don't know if I can say she the best one, man.
Hey, it's your opinion. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and like I said, man, this is facts over feelings. A lot of people don't know how to keep their feelings out of it, man. But I'm just here to to break down the game from what I see. And a lot of people, this is what really irritates me, man. When we looking at the WNBA as a whole, everybody just wants to focus on Caitlin Clark, man. And there's other people out there that's having great storylines. Look what the Las Vegas Aces are doing with Asia Wilson. Look at some of these other rookies that are balling, like Rakia Jackson. We saw what she brought to the table yesterday against the Chicago Sky, right? And then you got Aaliyah Edwards down there for the Mystics. I mean, it's a lot of people that a lot of people overlook. But my personal opinion, like you said, Jay Rich, I just think it's the fact that you said it, that they both need each other. And Kelsey Mitchell is on a contract year. So what I'm saying about Kelsey Mitchell is there's reports out of there that she might not be in Indiana next year. Now, if you got something that's brewing real good between Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark and you split that up, what's next?
Yeah, man, I agree, bro. I think for a contract, you can tell when somebody's in a contract year, and that goes for all sports. I think it's that aggressiveness that a player brings when they know it's time for that money.
Yeah. But like today's game, we saw today's game. Even though they blew the Storm out, the Storm jumped off to a good lead, and the Fever brought them back, and it was the big shots by Kelsey Mitchell. Now, we can't undermine what Lexi Hall did as well. Lexi Hall came off the bench and had 22. And when I'm talking about Aaliyah Boston, these last two games, she has put in 28 and 27 respectfully. And, I mean, she's flat out getting it done. And I just don't think that a lot of people are giving Kelsey Mitchell's her just due. So, Archer, let me hear what you got to say about this, man. Let the people know how you feel about the Indiana Fever team as a whole and what Kelsey Mitchell brings to the table.
Well, I'll be a little devil's advocate on this because Jay Rich does have her on his fantasy in the Slay Sports WNBA league. So he has Kelsey and I have Caitlin. And Kaylin ball, old girl ball. So Kaylin gonna get that double.
Nah, just take the fantasy portion out of it, man.
Taking the fantasy out, like
yeah, take the fantasy portion out of it.
They both hoopers, so they're gonna obviously need both of them to elevate and actually do something because the Aces is a complete team. The Connecticut Sun, like the teams that's out here that's top in the WNBA, they good. So for Indiana, if they plan on growing, they need to keep them both. You feel me? And old girl is playing in the contract year, so she balling out right now because she wanna come back or she wanna show her worth most importantly. So feelings aside, they need them both if they plan on winning anything.
Yeah, and I agree with that, but I only agree with that to a certain extent. And I did a show yesterday about Kelsey Mitchell, about her potentially, this her, contract year, potentially leaving. And it was a couple interesting words that really caught my attention when she said about the 2025 All-Star game being in Indiana. And she said, that's good for Indiana, and I wish them the best. So when you say words like that and you're an Indiana Fever, how does that sound? Does that sound like you're 1 foot out the door?
I mean, it can, it's we know this is a business behind the scenes, and I think even the way that the WNBA is even transitioning to getting even more revenue, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of the money is going to come down to who's on what team, especially if you're on Caitlin Clark's team. That's a team that's getting the most TV time, and that's going to be in the future too. So are you trying to say that she was kind of hinting at something?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you listen to the words that she's saying, like I said, I want people to know that's out there listening, man. We got 56 people watching right now. Make sure y'all press the like button, man, and share the video out. But what I'm saying is when you hear stuff like that from one of your main pieces, that sounds to me, like you said, it's a business, right? We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We don't know what the issue is for her to even say words like that. She says she's been in Indiana long enough, and she's wishing the city well in the All-Star game. So what I'm saying is when you hear stuff like that from one of your mainstays, how do you take that?
Man, it is tricky. I mean, shoot, I think you even gotta look at kind of what the contracts are looking like. I know Caitlin's she's gonna garner more money in years to come. Aaliyah Boston, and for sure you want to keep her around. So sometimes some teams can pull off that big three, and other teams can't do it. I mean, I really think, look, she a fellow lefty, like I said. I want to see her continue to get buckets with the Fever, man. Who knows what they can do with the playoffs? I think she needs to stay with the Fever. That's just me, though.
Man, and see, I'm glad that you said that because a lot of people look at it as like, Caitlin Clark it's all about Caitlin Clark. Man, they got Aaliyah Boston. And I did a show the other day, and I was trying to let people know that personally, the Indiana Fever has a better team that's constructed than the Chicago Sky. And I was telling people that Angel Reese is more impactful to the Chicago Sky than Caitlin Clark is to the Indiana Fever.
Ooh, that's hot.
And the reason why I say that is because you take Angel Reese off the floor, you're not going to get that high motor and that energy and them second chance points to even compete. But if you take Caitlin Clark off the floor, you still got Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hall. You still got two excellent guards. And and when a lot of people say Caitlin Clark is all the assists, but you got to take it in consideration. If Kelsey Mitchell was out there without Caitlin Clark, then she's going to be forced to get her team involved. So we don't know what Kelsey Mitchell can do as the sole point guard person. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, if she'd been there for 7 years, KSAP, we kind of see what she could do as a sole point guard, right?
No, she was there last year. She got hurt. But if you look at it, they was on track to have a lot of wins last year until she got hurt. See, a lot of people don't look at that. They don't look at through the course of the season she got hurt. You see what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is the Indiana Fever were projected to be 8. You know what I'm saying? The Chicago Skies was projected to be 12, but Chicago Skies in the 8th spot.
That part, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to Be Nice for the $5 super chat. Caitlin Clark, the best playmaker in the WM, ain't even close. Thanks for your continued support.
That's what I'm saying. Be nice.
See, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I'm going to give my opinion. And if people don't like my opinion, hey, we can talk about it.
Understood.
You know what I'm saying? We can talk about it. And that's the good thing about opinions. And I always tell people it's facts over feelings. You know what I'm saying? So one person might think that hands down she's the best playmaker in the WNBA, but there's other people out there that say otherwise, right?
That is true.
That's their opinion. But outside of, I've always told people in the WNBA, if you look at it as a whole now, you got to have elite guard play. And I've told people when I did 2 days ago when I did that live show, I said, if this is any indication on what the Indiana Fever can bring to the table, don't nobody want to see them in the playoffs. Don't nobody want to see them in the first round.
My bad, brother. I'm
That's okay.
Handling business. Yeah, they both bring something to the table. Like I know we keep jumping back to the Angel Reese, but I feel like I said for all of these women to be rookies, except for the woman who's Kelsey, who we up talking about today. I feel like the WNBA's future is looking very bright. The Fever got a lot to think about. They do got somebody like Caitlin Clark who is up and coming. I know she's not perfect, but she does have the nice game that the way that the WNBA and the game is leading towards now when it comes to the shooting. Can't knock Angel Reese because she is a double machine. And like you say, like if she just get a nice workout, go tap in with Angel Reese. I mean, not Angel Reese, with Asia Wilson and get in your bag. And I'm pretty sure she'll come back a totally different player. But thank you, K-Sap, for letting me jump in, man. I got to get back to work real quick, bro. I'll talk to y'all soon. I'm gonna jump in the comments.
All right, cool.
All right, Jay Rich.
All right, Jay Rich. So, based on what Archer said, I mean, it's a great point, but everybody has their entitled to their own opinion. And my thing is looking at basketball as a whole and, playing basketball at a high level, I just look at the game a little different than a lot of other people. I understand that Caitlin Clark is the point guard, right? But a lot of people have come on and said in the chat that she's not a point guard. She's a shooting guard. So make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? So now that Kelsey Mitchell is getting that shine and hitting all them buckets, doing what she's asked to do, then we're not giving her credit. It's all focused on Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, man. I don't know who's saying that Caitlin Clark ain't a point guard. I don't know who's saying that. That's crazy.
Well, if you've been around on these shows and been in the chat, you'll see. There's a lot of people been glazing, talking about, no, she's come in, she's asked to, shoot the 3 ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's just what she's going to do. I do want to ask you, I want to bring up something that you did mention yesterday about, because, listen, I'm a big Kennedy Carter fan. And I felt like you was kind of slighting Kennedy a little bit, man. I feel like how you're talking about Kelsey Mitchell, I feel that way about Kennedy Carter. I'm sorry.
How do you feel about Kennedy Carter?
I really feel like she is the best player on the sky to me.
We all agreed to that. We all said that she's the best player on the sky. My point was the guy that I was going back and forth with, he said that they need to build around Kennedy Carter. No, she's the best player, but Angel Reese is the franchise player. Okay. You build around Angel Reese. We all came to the agreement that Kennedy Carter is the best player on the Chicago Sky. Angel Reese is their franchise player. You need to build around Angel Reese. They're not going to build around somebody that's been in the league 6 or 7 years. They building on their draft pick of Angel Reese.
Okay.
They have to build around Angel Reese, and Kennedy Carter is one of the pieces that can play with Angel Reese. They just need to build around that, right? So when they made that trade, when they got rid of Mabry and brought in Mariah Jefferson and Raquel Banham, right? And then they got 2 draft picks back, setting them up for next year's draft to have 2 first-round picks, right? So what is that telling you? They mortgaging their futures. Mortgaging their future to get players to come in to go alongside Angel Reese. You're not going to do that for no Kennedy Carter.
No. Okay, the way you break it down, I feel that way too. So I think the Fever is a similar comparison as your franchise piece is obviously Caitlin Clark.
But I think the best player is Kelsey Mitchell.
You think it's the same?
But you building around Caitlin Clark, and that's why I bring this issue up, is because of the fact that if Kelsey Mitchell leaves, where do you go from there? You see what I'm saying? Are you going to depend on Lexi Hall to give you nights that she gave you tonight with 22 off the bench? Are you going to expect that every night? We know what Kelsey Mitchell brings to the table. So if Kelsey Mitchell bolts in free agency, who do you pair Caitlin Clark up with?
That's a great question. I mean, man, that's a tough one, bro. I think I don't know if they want to get even younger, maybe try to snag somebody in the draft.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Paige Beckers, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how far this Fever team can really go in the playoffs, but if they can't get rid of Mitchell, man, I just, because that's listen, 18, 17 points a game, that's a lot. That's hard to replace, man. That's a consistent, I call that a buck. That's a buck. Yeah. You know what I mean?
She's a straight bucket.
And that's a hard thing to replace. So, I don't know. I think this year really does mean a lot for her sake. But I do want to see how far this Fever team can go in the playoffs. You know, I think that's going to determine a lot.
But like I told people, I said if it was any indication of the game that they played the day before yesterday against the Phoenix Mercury, if it's any indication of how the Indiana Fever are going to play for the remainder of the season, don't nobody want to see the Indiana Fever in the playoffs. They're going to be a tough out. But we know what Caitlin Clark is capable of, but we've seen what Caitlin Clark has done on the big stage. She can't get it done when it's on the big stage, when them bright lights come on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've seen that in 2 national championships back to back. When the stage is the biggest, she didn't get it done. If Caitlin Clark is that exceptional of a player and she is the best player like everybody say she is, why come she didn't get it done in the NCAA championship game 2 years in a row? I'll wait for somebody to answer that. I know it's going to be a lot of crickets, so I'll wait. And see, that's what people do when we bring out the facts and say stuff like that, because people always want to say, oh, she's the best player, or she's the best player in the WNBA hands down. But when it's on the big stage, what did she do in 2 back-to-back national championship games? She didn't get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of one of those situations. I felt like she was more happy to beat Angel Reese than to win the national championship, you know? And you can't get caught up in that when it comes down to winning and losing. You can't let one game be more meaningful than the other, you know, when it comes to the playoffs. So they're going to be going at it neck and neck for years. I think both teams are built the right way. This is going to be a big year for Kelsey Mitchell, like you said. Man, I'm excited to see it. If you want to personally, I didn't even think I really feel like Angel Reese may win one beforehand. And yeah, I got baby girl JL.
That's okay, but that's what I'm saying. See, that's your opinion. See, yeah. But like you say that, it's not a big deal. But if I say that, they coming for my neck. If I say Angel Reese is going to win a championship before Caitlin Clark, then it's going to be all hell. All hell going to hit the fan.
I mean,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, winning is everything, man. You know, some people know how to grit out wins. Others struggle with it. You know, I can look at Angel Reese. She's been called she wasn't going to be this. Her game couldn't translate. It's translating. I don't care what y'all say. She can go 4-14. It's translating. So it's kind of like I feel like she can be to that level of a finals MVP, you know, before I see Caitlin Clark get in there. And that's just my opinion.
And you like Caitlin Clark, and that's the bad thing about it. And you're being objective to things that I'm saying, and I appreciate that. You're not just coming on here glazing one person. You're sitting there giving your basketball intake. And the crazy thing about it is, when I say about bright lights, like Gizmo, when Gizmo saw them lights come on, he ran for cover, right? And if you notice, in the games that the Indiana Fever have pulled out late that are close, Kelsey Mitchell is the one that's rising to the occasion. Even though she's getting the passes from Caitlin Clark, but I don't think Caitlin Clark want to be in them big moments as of yet. And like I said, we saw it in 2 back-to-back national championship games. If Caitlin Clark is that girl, one game, I need you to get one game for me. Go get that one game for me. You know what I'm saying? And then see, you know, a lot of people talking about she took lonely old Iowa to 2 big games 2 years in a row. They complimented itself. You can't, Zane. I can't let you do that, because when we talk about the NBA and we talk about LeBron went to all them finals but came up short, and y'all said he was a failure, right? So we can't move the goalpost for Caitlin Clark. She took that lonely Iowa team to the championship game, but she came up short. LeBron took the 2004 Cleveland Cavaliers against the Spurs and got swept. They called him a failure, even though he took that sorry team to the finals. So we can't move the goalpost for Caitlin Clark. Y'all gonna stop that? We're not moving the goalposts. Stop deflecting. Let's stay on topic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I'm loving the comments, man. A lot of
Back-to-back
different
Final
opinions.
Fours is terrible mid-major school like Iowa. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, you went to the national championship twice. You had 2 opportunities to win 1 game, and you came up short. And who did you come up short against? You came up short against Angel Reese. The comments, they go, see, that's what I'm saying. They be going crazy in the comments. Where do you think Camilla Cardoso fits with the Chicago Sky? I just feel that I was giving her the benefit of the doubt because of the shoulder surgery. She was out the first couple games. I think she's now back getting her feet wet. But I would like to see her be better defensively. You know what I'm saying? On the defensive side of the ball. Yesterday, she had a monster game. You know, she spearheaded that comeback, that 15-2 run in the fourth quarter against the LA Sparks. Her and Angel Reese was dominant in that fourth quarter and led them to a comeback victory. But she fits well with the Chicago Sky. I just think the Chicago Sky need one other point guard to go aside Kennedy Carter, because we saw what they did yesterday, right? We saw what Raquel Bet. That's the reason why they traded for her. We saw that. But it's the thing about it is you don't have consistent guard play. That's the problem with the Chicago Sky. They don't have consistent guard play. And if they had consistent guard play, then we'd be talking about something else, right? We'd be talking about them as a contender. Right now, they're sitting in that 8th spot, but at the same time, Atlanta is chasing them, and Atlanta got another victory today against Connecticut, right? Now, we know Phoenix and Chicago play again tonight at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, and we're going to see how that, bodes. But it's crazy. But I just think, Camila Cardoso, she fits with the Chicago Sky.
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate you having me on, KSAP.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming up, man.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I would love to be on here again. But, yeah, I'm going to jump into the comments.
All right, what's your final thoughts?
On Kelsey Mitchell?
Yeah.
And, man, I'm going to say I can't. I think she's the best player right now. But she won't be 3 years from now. She's still there. She won't be here. She won't be like the best player, basically.
No, it'll be Caitlin Clark's team then. Caitlin Clark will take over all reins of being the best player on the Indiana Fever, possibly being the best player in the WNBA, because the girls that's been in there now, they're older. They're starting to fizzle out. It's a young crop coming in now. And I just think with this young crop, we got a lot of young, WNBA players that can take over that mantle, right? And then you got to look at the class coming up. You got to look at the Paige Beckers. You got to look at down the line. You got to look at the Juju Watkins. You got to look at players like that. I'm not going to sit here and just crown Caitlin Clark for everything. You got to prove to me. Once you prove to me, like they said, and the reason why I say I don't want people moving the goalposts, because they did this when they talk about the GOAT debate, when they don't want to give LeBron James his credit, and they always want to move the goalposts, right? So now I can't just crown Caitlin Clark the king of the WNBA, and I can't crown her being the best player on her team. I'm not going to do that. You got to prove to me. Once you win a big-time game and show me that you worth the accolades that people are giving you, then I'll put some respect on it. But as of now, you ain't won nothing. You battling to stay into the playoff hunt. And when I've been watching Kelsey Mitchell for the last 6 years. I know what Kelsey Mitchell brings to the table. Outside of her injury last year, she was still averaging 14, 15 a game. So she's a consistent. So I'm not just giving, Caitlin Clark the crown and be like, hey, we're going to come in here, we just going to glaze Caitlin Clark all day. I'm not going to do it. Yeah. But, man, I appreciate your time, man. Anytime that you want to come on, man, just let me know.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, salute, my brother.
All right. Peace out.
All right, cool. All right. Yeah, man, I appreciate Jay Rich and Archer, man, for coming up on the panel. But, y'all guys, man, this is my opinion, man. Nobody is even telling you to talk about Clark every day. I'm not talking about Clark every day. We talking about Kelsey Mitchell, and y'all want to just throw Caitlin Clark's name in there. Well, you say they just looking at replays. Yeah, Michelle, they just looking at replays. That's all. They not watching the game. They just watch. They trying to find the highlights on Sports Center. That's all. The Fever are playing better as a team. Yeah, see, they are playing better as a team. And if y'all was here 2 days ago when I did the live, I said that the Indiana Fever have a better team than the Chicago Sky. It's not even close. But now, all of a sudden, that Indiana's winning. Nobody want to talk about Christie Sides. Don't nobody want to give Christie Sides her props. Because that early in the season when they was losing, everybody wanted to get rid of Christie Sides. Michelle, you probably do watch the game, Michelle. I'm talking about the other people in the chat. They don't watch the games. I'll be all over the games, man. I'll be all over the games. I'm gonna be on this game tonight when Chicago Chi-Town Barbie take on Phoenix in Phoenix. But see, didn't nobody want to talk about that? Don't nobody want to give Christie Sides her props now for the 2-game win streak that she's on coming out of the Olympic break. Don't nobody want to give her props. Everybody just want to give Caitlin Clark all the just dues. Come on, man. If y'all taking it like that, trying to give Caitlin Clark all the just dues, and she's winning all these games, that's say that in the national championship game 2 years in a row, she came up short. Blame it on Caitlin Clark. Who else you gonna blame it on? If Caitlin Clark is that person that everybody says she is. She lost 2 national championship games back to back. Whose fault is that? Don't blame it on the team. Put that one on Caitlin Clark. Shout out to International 33, $2 super chat. Appreciate you. Appreciate your support. But that's all I'm saying, man. CC is the one. Hold up. CC is the one that put it on the team, the horn system. Side said so. See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people start deflecting and want to blame sides for everything. Every loss that the Indiana Fever had, everybody wanted to put it on Christie Sides. And I was one that on my channel, I was giving Christie Sides the benefit of the doubt. And when they started off 1-8, and then they went on that 4-game win streak, I gave all the credit to Christie Sides. But as soon as they lost that game to Chicago by 1, everybody on the internet, these Caitlin Clark YouTube content creators that talk about the Indiana Fever, oh, Christie Sides is horrible. They need to get rid of her. She lost that game. Nah, she didn't lose the game. It was the fact that Caitlin Clark only took 2 shots in the second half. And if she was that person and she wanted to be in that moment, she would have took over that game. She let Angel Reese in the third quarter, at the end of the third quarter, go on a personal 9-0 run on her own. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Don't bring Christie Sides into it. Let's stay with the Caitlin Clark. If y'all think Caitlin Clark was all that, why did she lose 2 back-to-back national championship games? Don't nobody want to answer that question. Don't nobody want to answer that question. Y'all gonna answer that question? Michelle Johnson said, no ring at all. Yeah, I mean, she don't. Nobody cares about Reese. Is out there running now. Man, boy. The hate is real. Now they don't care. It is what it is, man. Stop saying that they was unranked, man. She lost 2 national championship games, man. If Caitlin Clark was that special, she would have won that game. You tell me that one game, you asking me to go get you one game and you couldn't do that. But y'all here, though. If I'm so delusional, why y'all here, man? I give good takes, man. Y'all can dispute them all you want, man. That's my opinion, man. Just because I don't fit y'all's narrative about Caitlin Clark, man. Be nice. I shouldn't have to answer that question, man. I shouldn't have to answer that question, man. You know how I feel about Caitlin Clark, man. Caitlin Clark is special. Caitlin Clark is a generational talent, man. Caitlin Clark does exceptional things out on that basketball court. But I'm not going to sit here and just crown Caitlin Clark for everything that the Indiana Fever are doing. I'm not going to do it. We're not going to do that, man. You already know my position on Caitlin Clark, man. I have nothing against Caitlin Clark, man. I like Caitlin Clark, man. But I'm not just going to sit here and not be objective to some of the things that you guys are saying, and then I'm going to have to come back and give my piece, and then y'all call me delusional. I could call y'all delusional for some of the chats that y'all be throwing out there. I can call y'all delusional. But I ain't going to do it, man, because I respect y'all's opinion. That's all it is. I respect y'all's opinion. Yeah, CC broke an assist record, but Angel Reese broke the double-double streak. But as soon as I say that, y'all going to say that was fictitious. That's what I'm saying. Be nice. It's a team effort. I'm not just going to come up here and talk about Caitlin Clark every day. You know what I do on this channel. I talk about all the players, man. We're not just going to sit here and talk about Caitlin Clark and just be, oh, Caitlin Clark is just great. Now, we got to give the other people on the team credit. You saw what Lexi Hall did today, 22 points off the bench. You saw what Kelsey Mitchell did, 27. Even though Caitlin Clark is the engine that makes that train go, but you got to hit shots. And Kelsey Mitchell is a big shot maker, and she's been doing it her whole WNBA career. Now, see, when I put the double-doubles out there, you see what I'm saying? So we can't mention double-doubles for Angel Reese, but we can mention assists for Caitlin Clark. Come on, man. Y'all can't have it both ways, man. You can't have it both ways. That's right, Michelle. Hey, stay here for it, man, because this is what we do, man. Why come Zane, let me ask you a question. Why come I can't say that Kelsey Mitchell is the best player on the Indiana Fever team? Why come I can't say that? Just answer that question. Why come I can't say that? I just want to just answer the question. Why come I can't say that Kelsey Mitchell is the best player on the Indiana Fever team? What do you mean facts prove she's not? Okay, why facts? What facts are proving that she's not? So let me ask you a question. Take Kelsey Mitchell off the team. Does Indiana Fever have 13 wins? Just answer that question. It's a yes or no question. It's a yes or no question. Take Kelsey Mitchell off the Indiana Fever. Do the Indiana Fever have 13 wins? That's all I'm saying. So my opinion is, from what I see from Kelsey Mitchell, I say Kelsey Mitchell is the best player on the Indiana Fever. That's right, Michelle. That stay on the WNBA. See what they do, they try to deflect. They only here to cause confusion. They try to deflect. I'm gonna ask y'all a serious question. Everybody in the chat, when did y'all really start watching the WNBA? Is it because of Caitlin Clark? And that'll tell me a lot. They be deflecting, Michelle. I'm out of comparing. I'm not comparing no players. Y'all the one that want to compare players. Every time I say something about Angel Reese, somebody want to come in the chat. Oh, she not better than Caitlin Clark. They play two different positions, man. We're gonna stop that. Michelle, you been watching since the Houston Comets? Yeah, you're supposed to. The inaugurated season in '97. Come on, man. We've been there. I never compared Caitlin Clark to Kelsey Mitchell. You tell me in one segment that I compared Kelsey Mitchell to Caitlin Clark. I came on here. You saw the title of the show. I said Kelsey Mitchell, in my opinion, is the best Indiana Fever player. How is that comparing her to Caitlin Clark? How am I comparing her to Caitlin Clark? I never said that. All I said, in my personal opinion, I think Kelsey Mitchell is the better player on the Indiana Fever. Thank you, Michelle. I've never said that. I'm not comparing no players. Kelsey Mitchell is just the best player, in my opinion, on the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark is special. She makes the engine go. She makes the engine go. I mean, hey, that's what y'all like to do. Y'all like to debate, right? Y'all like to debate. I mean, that's what shows do. They debate. And if you coming in the chat and you making a comment, and then I throw a comment out there, ain't that like a mutual respect of debating? Man, y'all see, I'm not gonna let y'all do it, man. I'm gonna drink my Caitlin Clark juice. I'm just gonna drink my Caitlin Clark juice. I'm gonna drink my Caitlin Clark juice. So see, Cora manager, that's what you're doing. See, now you're comparing Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. And I don't know, how you gonna say that Caitlin Clark is a better defender than Kelsey Mitchell? Come on, man. Now you really glazing. Now you really glazing. We don't want to talk about the defensive end. We're going to leave the defensive end out of this. We're going to leave the defensive side of the ball out of this, man. Because for what you just said, now you delusional. Because it's already been a known fact. People in the WNBA, coaches, our own coach said she needs to work on her defensive side of the ball and stop turning the ball over. Today, she had another 5 turnovers. Y'all don't want to talk about that, though, do y'all? She had 5 more turnovers a day. She's had 11 turnovers in 2 games since she's been back from the Olympic break. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the 11 turnovers. What can she do better to stop turning the ball over? Y'all want to talk about that? See, look, now y'all deflecting. 2 turnovers caused off of missed calls. Cut that out, man. See, y'all deflecting. Come on, man. Y'all only here to cause confusion. Let's talk about what can Caitlin Clark do better to stop turning the ball over? Yeah, I saw the game, man, but you're not going to deflect, man. I didn't ask you that. Stop just trying to make an excuse every time somebody brings up her turnovers. Stop saying that, man. I asked a question, man. What can they do? What can Caitlin Clark do to stop turning the ball over at a high clip? Be nice. I appreciate the honesty, man. If she keeps playing like this, you'll take the turnovers. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I'm asking a simple question, man. What can Caitlin Clark do to stop turning the ball over the way she's turning it over? Yeah, you can get the link, Hootie Mac. Yeah, you can get the link. They want to see your face, too, when you come on camera, man. Thank you, Be Nice. See, Be Nice is the only one being real today. He not deflecting. Any other time, Be Nice, sometimes he get his troll on, but I see he came with it today, man. He being serious. Some of y'all guys can't accept that in the chat, that I'm asking a simple question and Be Nice is answering the questions. Prodigal. See, if I'd have said Lexi was the player of the game today, they would have had a fit. What's up, Reggie? Salute, my brother. Salute, my brother. So Lexi Hall was the player of the game today, right? Even though Caitlin Clark had 23 and 9 with 5 turnovers, but they gave it to Lexi Hall because she came off the bench and had 22. I got you, Hootie Mac. What up, Hootie Mac?
Good night, good night. I'm out here. It's raining. I'm outside out.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. They only here to cause confusion, man.
Hopefully you can hear me.
I can hear you
think
loud
the
and clear.
rain has finally passed us. I think the rain finally passed us, so I can take some of the stuff off. So I'll try to be quick because I'm also moving around too, still working. But I wanted to address the question you had. I know it might have been rhetorical, but the one statement said, how can CC turn down some of the turnovers? Right?
Yeah.
I heard you say that. Cool. But I will answer that with also a statement of facts of what's going on around the league as far as all our point guards, our Skylar Diggins, even some of our people who are primary playmakers like our Alyssa Thomases. Most of the primary ball handlers around the league, if you look at the average of turnovers, most of the primary ball handlers are averaging about 4 turnovers a game, right? Skylar had 4 turnovers today. Shit, Arike had 10 like 2 nights ago or so, or before the break, 10 turnovers at a high clip, right? Alyssa Thomas average is like 4.5 turnovers. So mind you, yes, 5. CC is above the curve in turnovers at 5, but for almost every game you see her, she stays at about, she doesn't go too much higher than that, about 4 or 5. And why I think it's also an issue, or why it's continued to happen, because one, she takes a lot of chances. Like when I said to you earlier, she's the Brett Favre of the WNBA. Yeah. Absolutely. So what old boy said, as long as he gets the wins and take the turnovers, as long as the turnovers don't lead to scoring and it's not per se detrimental, it's not great. Yes, it's a lost possession. It's not great. But as far as what the league average is, as far as it goes for turnovers, she's kind of on track. It's like you kind of expect your lead guard, unless you're Courtney Vandersloot, to have about 3 to 4 turnovers.
Okay.
She drop down the league average, not she's at 3 or 4. Are we saying is it better if she only gets like 3 a game?
Yeah, like if she could drop it down to 3. But I'm glad you brought that point up. You brought a valid point up, right? Out of all the names that you just named, right, about their turnovers, right? We have no problem saying that these young ladies are turning the ball over at a high clip as well, right? Is that correct? But as soon as somebody brings up Caitlin Clark's turnovers, all hell breaks loose. Why is that?
It's in some cases, if I can be just frank, just paying attention, for some people, they're bringing it up only out of spite and slight. I know some people is keeping it real. I say it is an issue. Her defense is an issue and the turnovers is an issue. I even admit that, saying as an outside observer, and I like her game, right? But let's say, for instance, like my team, the Liberty, John Quayle Jones handling the ball like she the point guard and having 4 or 5 turnovers at the center position. You be like, damn, why you got so many turnovers? But then she give you 10 points, 18 rebounds. Like, well, hell, you had it outside of the turnovers. You contributed to the win. It's a give and take. It's a give and take in that scenario. And because she is the primary she's the primary playmaker, you might have to live with at least about 4 turnovers a game.
And
now, what happened tonight? Hold on, I got to stand under here. The rain coming down. Now, what happened tonight, which I was saying I would love to see, because Aaliyah Boston is the next person that touches the ball the most because of that pick and roll situation. I mean, where she was dotting up 8 assists, and Lexi Hall was getting a lot of love from Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston taking that like that Shaquille O'Neal out the post passing type of role. I love to see that. You need a secondary playmaker. You don't know who it is going to be. I could see Kelsey Mitchell being the secondary playmaker because that guard to guard work. What they're doing right now, I'm liking it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Getting Kelsey Mitchell a lot more involved.
Exactly.
Right. But one thing, the reason why there's some disagreement for me is when you're saying Kelsey Mitchell is the best, technically for all intents and purposes. The players who's been around longer are going to technically be better than CeCe. But you got some progenies. You got some generational talents, like you said. Kelsey is getting off a lot easier because they have to respect Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell.
And Kate,
and Caitlin Clark. They got to respect them other 2 players, so it's easier for her to get what she wants.
Exactly.
And get off. Oh, shit, rain coming down crazy.
Okay, and then I got a comment from Bang's Theory. Based on the statistics provided, Kelsey Mitchell stands out as the potential MVP of the game. She played 34 minutes, scored 27 points, shooting 52.6 points from the field and an impressive 62.5 from three-point range. But everybody thinks I'm delusional when I feel, my personal opinion, I feel that Kelsey Mitchell right now is the best Indiana Fever player. Why do people have a problem with that? Is it because Caitlin Clark is on the team? But if Angel Reese was on the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark, and Angel Reese was averaging 20 and 12, right? I'm still going to think that from what Kelsey Mitchell is doing, I'm still going to say Kelsey Mitchell is the best player on that Indiana Fever team. So why do people have a problem with that? I just don't get it.
I think let me give my analysis and what I'm seeing. And I'm putting my thoughts maybe on other people, but it seems, even as good as Kelsey, she's good. She's amazing. No matter what, she'd be good without Caitlin. She'd be good with Caitlin, whatever. But her efficiency, where it was shaky in the beginning of the year, it started getting better once they started changing some things around. I can show you why I think there's a correlation to the efficiency numbers for Kelsey going up because of CeCe, because of what Lexi Hall did tonight. Lexi Hall was only doing like 5 points a game, maybe at best, and the time she was touching it, very ineffective shooting night. Tonight, the game plan, how it was played out, she was getting open catch and shoots, maybe a little bit of contesting in there, and went 6 or 7. 80% as for the game, 8 from 10 all around from the game, from catching the ball, you know what I mean, off from Aaliyah, or from Kelsey, or from even Kelsey at times, from anybody setting her up. So most of the time when Kelsey right now this season is touching the ball, it's somebody else setting her up. And because she's such a good finisher and a great shooter, I mean, she's great at shooting. If she got space and she's open, she probably will make it. She's getting set. People are setting up the table for Kelsey, and Kelsey is finishing the play.
Okay.
And so I would say right now she is the finisher on the team.
And
I think we had this
we've come
conversation.
to
She
agree
is the
that.
finisher.
Yeah, we've come to that
She's the
agreement.
finisher.
Yeah, we've come
But
to
I
that
gotta
agreement.
set you up. Unless it's like where we give you the ball, go and you go create it. Yeah, she could do that too. But when she's doing that, nobody else touches the ball, and it
Okay.
becomes a problem. Whereas like I set you up, go do something with it real quick, set you up. You ain't got it. Let's reset. Boom. But yeah, we're looking for you to be the first scoring option. You know what I mean? You're our scorer for the team. All of that, yeah, all that's valid. You're our scorer. We need you. You're the finisher. You're the scorer. You know
Okay.
what I mean? But it's your best serve playing an auxiliary role to the primary playmaker.
Okay. And I'm glad
That's
that you
why I
brought.
can't say you're the best. You're
Okay,
the best.
I'm glad that you brought that up, right? Now I'm gonna throw this right back at you. Going into the Olympic break, when Caitlin Clark's assist picked up, that was all because of what Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston was doing. They was finishing plays, right? Is that correct?
I had muted real quick. The rain, I don't know if you noticed the rain coming down
Yeah.
too. I'm trying to get myself.
But what I'm saying is her assists started picking up when Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston started hitting shots. Kelsey Mitchell's points per game have went up ever since Caitlin Clark been on this assist tour, right? Now, I'm going to throw this at you. Just think if Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston have a bad game where they not scoring, where is Caitlin Clark's assist going to come from? So then people are going to start to blame, the reason why she didn't have 9 assists or 10 assists, because Kelsey Mitchell couldn't hit a shot and Aaliyah Boston couldn't hit a shot. So this shit is rhetorical. So you can't win for losing when you're talking about Caitlin Clark. They're going to blame everybody else outside of Caitlin Clark for their, inefficiencies. So if Kelsey Mitchell has a game where she don't have 28 points or 27 points, majority of her points coming off of assists from Caitlin Clark, then what is the narrative going to be? We lost him. But you guys, y'all feel what I'm saying? What is the narrative going to be then? What is the narrative going to be when Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston don't have a game like they're having? Are y'all going to blame Leah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell for losing because Caitlin Clark didn't get her assist because they was missing shots? That's interesting. It's interesting. It's something that, that's something that, we got to take in consideration. Because if Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston are not scoring on a high clip the way they've been scoring going into the Olympic break in these first 2 games, are we going to blame Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell for not getting it done, for messing up Caitlin Clark's assists? Because y'all say that her assists, come from that. Then y'all say her turnovers come from, teammates fumbling the ball. Man, you can't win for losing with Caitlin Clark, man. You can't win for losing. I got you, Hootie. We back. You there?
Apologies.
Yeah, we back.
I don't know how I got disconnected. My apologies.
That's okay.
And I did kind of miss the last thing you were saying on that. So if you don't mind, can you catch me up? What was the last thing you were just saying?
This is what I said. So Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston, and he's going into the Olympic break, they started picking up their scoring. These first 2 games outside of the Olympic break, they picked up their scoring as well. You know what Kelsey Mitchell did in the last 2 games? She had 28 and 27 respectfully, right? So my question was, if Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston don't have a game where they have it going offensively, all cultivated off of Caitlin Clark's passes, and they not making shots, and they lose the game, where's the blame going to be at?
That's hard to say because I'm not looking at Caitlin to carry the score unless she's gonna go. If Caitlin go and get 40, and you just get maybe 8 points here from somebody, 10 points here from somebody, they play great defense and they still win. Then yeah, but if they still losing, let's talk this up to this.
What the narrative is going to be, though. The narrative is going to be that Caitlin Clark did her job. Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston just wasn't hitting shots. That's my position
I
on it.
would
I
have
mean,
I would have to agree. I would have to agree because remember, I mean, you say keep it a WNBA, but it's easy to use as an example. But I'll use a matter of fact, I'll use the Liberty, my New York Liberty as an example, right? When they had Cappy Pondexter and pretty not a lot of other people, right? But if they won games and Cappy was going off, Cappy got the praise, right? But if they lost the game but Cappy went off and everybody else was looking trash, well, they pointed like, yo, Cappy did her job, y'all need to step it up. You know what I'm saying? But here the difference in this scenario though is Aaliyah Boston is a star. Kelsey Mitchell is a star for all intents and purposes. So I expect at least a level of consistency in some type of way from all y'all. And because Kelsey Mitchell is not a lockdown defender, she's not a playmaker, you gotta score. She gotta score. And if she not scoring, then we need scoring. We need her points being made up by somebody else, right? Lexi Hall got to step up, or Katie Lou got to step up, or Melissa got to step up. Because you get one thing, for the most part, you get one thing from Kelsey Mitchell, right? Caitlin don't go off, but if she had 15 assists and 10 points, like, all right, well, shit, she set the table. AB don't rebound, but she had 30 points. Like, well, shit, keep feeding big girl. She doing her job. You gotta give me something to sit, and it's harder for those players that don't give you at least two things. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but for the most part, Kelsey does one thing and one thing exceptionally well: score exceptionally well. AB can rebound and play defense if she don't score like she did tonight, and we see she got good passing skills too, so she can be your secondary playmaker, which is odd, but hey, Jonquel Jones do it too, right?
yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. And that's the hard thing that, a lot of people don't understand, man. It's like in basketball, and I'm glad B Nice said that. It's like LeBron. Everybody else gets the blame, right? So if you're focused on that star player, Caitlin Clark ain't gonna get the blame for nothing. And I said this earlier, every time that they was taking losses, everybody wanted to run and say Christie Sides blew that game. And we can't do that, man. I mean, sometimes, like they said when Darvin Ham got fired, a lot of the media personnel said that LeBron has to start taking accountability. When is CC going to start taking accountability? If they lose, CC should be the bigger person and say, hey, I put that on me, right? So if the team, if she is the best player like everybody's saying she is, you got to go out there and get it done. I mean, you got to get your troops, you got to rally your troops. And I just don't, right now, I don't think that the Indiana Fever team have a leader. Who's the leader of the Indiana Fever?
Aaliyah Boston.
Okay.
Aaliyah Boston basically is the leader. And yeah, I'd say Aaliyah Boston. Erica Wheeler is supposedly supposed to be that veteran. I see Tammy Sack Bentley on the sidelines be amping people up, but I don't know. Again, I have to see more. I see Tammy steps up and talks. Erica Wheeler steps up and talks, but she's like that. She got like that Sydney Carlson, people just love her type of thing. I think Aaliyah, people respect Aaliyah on that team. The way that she talks, and it seems like everybody listens, no matter what, veteran or young or old. I don't know what it is. She calmed down CC at times. You know what I mean? They have some type of relationship. I think it's Aaliyah Boston. Because Kelsey Mitchell, for the most part, Kelsey Mitchell looks like she doesn't speak, talk, or get involved. She just go involved.
That's a good point, man. That's a good point, man. But it is what it is, man. That's why I wanted to talk about it. My personal opinions. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why everybody got up in their feelings because I said Kelsey Mitchell. Me personally, I think Kelsey Mitchell is the best player right now. That could change, just like the Rookie of the Year vote. Things are up in the air. Things can change. Like these media personnel said, whoever wins, leading in the standing. But right now, as you see it coming out the gate, these first two games, I would have to give the nod to Caitlin Clark. You know what I'm saying? These first two games, I would give the nod to Caitlin Clark for the Rookie of the Year. You know what I'm saying? So guys in the chat, don't just think I'm all this about Angel Reese, man. I'm giving it to you fair, man. I'm just giving it to you from a basketball standpoint. Coming out the gate, these two Olympic games right now, if I had to vote, I'm giving it to Caitlin Clark. So y'all guys heard it here first, man. So stop all that stuff coming in the chat talking about I'm delusional because I say Kelsey Mitchell is the best player on the team. Stop all that. All right, go ahead, Hootie Mac.
I'm just saying, all I was gonna say is, yeah, and okay, cool. Yes, CC is starting to separate herself. For the most part, Angel, if she continue doing what she's doing on the way out the door, right? Or say, all right, let's say CC is starting to average 20 now for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And maybe 20 and 9. 20 and 9. Let's throw it average number 20 and 9, right? Cool. All right, you one shy of a double. And Angel does 12 and 12 for the rest of the season, right? Still respectable, right? Still respectable on both ends. Like, for some people, it would still be a hard tosser, but I say I got one player that gave me 20 points and potentially 18 more points off assist and 12 rebounds. Now, what would be the differentiator on Angel's side is she also becomes a lockdown defender somehow, some way in the last 15 games and give you 12 and 12. Like, well, shit. Yeah, you giving me 20 and 9, but over here she giving me at least a cool 12 and 12, and she shutting down the other team's best player. Then that's another discussion. It would take Angel becoming the Tony Allen of the Chicago Sky to make it a different type of conversation. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you on that, and I respect that. And what I say is, like, I think the problem that, you know, the Caitlin Clark fans have and the Caitlin Clark YouTube channel content creators have, it's a fact that the mainstream media has made it a debate about the Rookie of the Year trophy. And that's the issue that these Caitlin Clark fans have, because they're saying to themselves, how y'all going to compare Angel Reese to Caitlin Clark in this Rookie of the Year discussion? They thought it was going to be a runaway, but as soon as Angel Reese started making some noise, I think that's the problem that a lot of people have. And I'm here for the conversation, and I'm loving it.
Well, all I want to say is I want to wish you well because I got to get back to work and it's raining out, so I got to have to cover my phone because my phone don't get wet.
All right, well, do your thing,
Well,
man.
I'm
Appreciate
back in
you,
the
Hootie Mac.
chat.
All right.
No doubt, my brother.
All right, salute. Yeah, so that's Hootie Mac, man. Great perspective, man. Great things that Hootie Mac says, as always, man. But, yeah, man, I mean, the conversation, man, and I think that's the problem, man. We're here for some basketball conversation, man, and it's no slight on one another, man. It's the fact that, you know, that's my personal opinion. Y'all have y'all's personal opinions, but I watched the game. I played the game at a high level, so I know what it is, man. It's more than just somebody out there being a playmaker on the floor. You got it's my coach always told me, you got practice players and you got game time players. You got practice players and you got game time players. Practice players, they're going to practice. Game time players are going to show up when the lights are the brightest and they're going to perform. And we saw in the last 2 national championship games, somebody underperformed. But yeah, but it's all good, man. I'm about to watch the Chicago game, man, and we're going to come back later, man. But I ain't going to hold y'all, man. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate your support. Like I said, man, be nice. CC has elevated the entire WNBA play. And that's your personal opinion, man. And I appreciate the compliment. Appreciate the $2 super chat. But, man, that's going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces. Yes, Chicago going to win that game tonight.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.